switch to. Okay, I think everybody sound is great today. Okay, that's fine. I'm gonna actually come off my Wi-Fi on here because it does take a bit. I think the Wi-Fi starts to go a bit funny when not to share my screen and stuff, but it's fine. So cool. We're gonna start. So another day for us to be great, and I just want to say, you know, big shout out to you guys. You guys are actually putting in the work. You're coming in, even on a weekend, and you're listening. It shows that you want to learn and you want to grow. Now, the thing is that, wanting something and actually achieving it is two different things. So, the things that you are learning, please implement them in your life because that's how you're going to actually grow. You know, everybody wants to be, not everybody becomes a millionaire. And it's crazy because when you start to see numbers and you start to make sense, and just like how we spoke about yesterday, growing small, 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 even though in the great grand schemes of things, like, yeah, small, £300 a day here and there, like, we say it's small because we know the opportunity, we know the potential that we've got in trading. So when I say small, don't look at it as in like it's actually it's actually like so good and so great, because if you think about it, if £300, £200 a day is small, right? That is literally like the bottom line. That is like the bottom, like the very bottom. So look at the upscale that you've got in terms of making money, right? A lot of people actually, like, this is why I say like trading is easy when you start looking at it in like numbers in that aspects, because people at work are working days, weeks to make 300, £400 a week, right? And then you got other people that are like doing their own work, like their own business, their own this and that. And some of them don't even make 300, £400 a day. So you have to really lock in and understand, like, yo, I need to make money in this game. And it's not hard to make money in this game. We've all made money, right? We've all made £200. Some of us have made 500. Some of us have made 1,000, right? And some of them I've seen, the market, you're running profits up to like 10K. Right? So you have to understand that when I'm talking about small, it's actually not small. It's just the beginning, right? But you have to go through the beginning in order for you to come out the other side. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to talk about something very quickly, which I think is super, super important for all of you, and including myself as well. And I continue to do this on a regular basis. Okay, and it's going to help you grow. It's going to help you get to the next level. Now, I know a lot of you are probably already are doing it, or figured that you should be doing it, and you are going in the path of doing it, basically, right? So what it is that I need you guys to really, really lock in, right? I'm sorry I keep looking down here because my laptop is down here, and obviously Zoom is here, my charts is here, and the camera is there. So if I'm not looking directly at you, I am basically looking at you, if that makes sense. Okay, so what I want to say is that you need to lock in, right? When in your life have you locked in, right? It doesn't matter what it is, right? Okay, cool. We are talking about trading because we're traders, but when have you ever locked in? Do you know what I'm saying? Locked in one specific thing, right? Let's go back. Maybe in school we locked in because we needed to get our GCSEs or exams, right? Maybe we locked in when we want to lose weight. Maybe we locked in to make someone proud. Okay, now I need you to lock in trading and in your life, right? And what is that gonna require? It's gonna require you literally leaving people behind, right? So, you know, when I was growing up in trading, yes, of course, not even trading, far before that, because I remember, like, I've been a business minded person from such a young age, right? If you guys know my story, you'll know. I'm not going to talk about it, but from a young age, I've been super motivated in order to make money, in order to grow and get to the next level. Okay. So back then, I actually was able to understand that not everybody's going to be there for you. Not everybody's going to be rooting for you. Not everybody, even your parents, they're not going to be there saying, yeah, chase your dreams, right? It's literally, you have a bunch of friends who are not doing anything, and they just lazing around. They're too busy on social media, and they're not, there's nothing happening in their life. So why are you friends with these people, right? And you have to be so, like, what's it called? What's the word? It's flew out my head now. Um, you got to be about yourself. Maybe some of you will be able to tell me the word. It's gone out my head, right? You have to be about yourself. You can't care about what people think about you. Selfish. That's the word. Selfish. You have to be selfish, right? There's no, there's no thing that I've done, right, or I've met people who are very, very high in value, high in business, high in status, that are not selfish, right? The people that get to the top are selfish people, and it's not a bad thing, right? Being selfish means that you want more for yourself. Okay, so you need to start looking around in your circle about on who is actually there on a journey, similar journey like you are. They're good people to be around. If you've got people around you that are not doing things that make sense, then don't be around them, right? Let's say your net worth, your circle is your net worth, right? So your network is your net worth. So it's like, why would you then, if you see yourself as this, you know, great trader, or this person that's going to make a lot of money in trading, why are you going to allow certain people that are bottom of the barrel be your friend or be around you, right? And it's crazy because they say it's lonely at the top, but I say it's lonely all the way. It's lonely at the bottom, it's lonely at the top. At the bottom, no one's there. Like, and you have to understand that you might have a few people that really like you, care for you, and whatever, right? It's literally like one or two people, right? But in most instances, really not many people, right? You have to literally, be selfish and forget about these other people that are in your life that are not making sense. Okay, because that's number one. Get rid of people that are not making sense in your life, right? Now, the people, you can't choose family. So if family are not there for you, you can't choose them, right? But you know your boundaries, right? It's important to understand your boundaries, and it will make sense when I carry on, because you're probably thinking, why is he talking about this? That because this links to the charts, right? So another thing is that, you know the you have to have tunnel vision. You have to lock in 3 months, 6 months, and you're gonna be good. It's that simple, right? There's no one that's ever locked in that hasn't received something good. I was mentioning, like, in terms of these high value people that I've met, and high value people that are in my phone book and stuff like that. They are very selfish, right? Because they care about themselves. They care about them more than they care about the next person, because who's paying their bills, right? Who's making the operations work? Them, right? So in order for you, you are the engine in your life, right? So you need to put yourself first. Now, putting yourself first is gonna require you to believe in yourself, to trust yourself, right? And this all links back to trading. So if you can't trust yourself, how are you going to trust yourself in a trade? How are you going to trust yourself in holding a trade, or taking a trade and then just saying to yourself, okay, cool, I'm going to wait till it gets to a certain level, right? Really, really trusting the skill, the education that you've learned, right? Trusting that you have done the work by studying and putting in the work, right? This is where it all links in back to trading, right? Now, once you start working on your life and working on the things that you don't like, now we are human beings. There's so many things that we can change about ourselves, right? And we can improve, and so on and so forth. So, even me, how, I make a lot of money, but money does not define who I am. And there's still a lot of things, a lot of flaws that I need to work on and I continuously work on daily, right? No one's perfect. But the one thing that I realized from a young age is that no one's going to be there for you holding your hand. You have to go and do it. Now, of course, it comes with things like mentorship, people like myself, and you can learn from other people where they are holding your hand along the way. But ultimately, you're going to need to be pressing the buttons. You're going to need to be transferring that mindset from the mentor to yourself, and then you're going to have to start putting that into action, and then you're going to start receiving results, right? So this is super super important. Make sure that you are locking in, and locking in doesn't just mean, oh, you're just grafting and putting the work in the charts. No, locking in is like the things that you do in your spare time, the people that you're hanging around with, right? It even goes down, if you want to go down to the next level, the food that you're taking, right? Your mental health, so on and so forth. All of these things will link back. Will link back to someone's coming back in. Will link back to your work and your results in the charts, right? It's so so important, right? Let me accept these people. Yeah. So it's so so important, and I'll be honest, guys. There's I've I've eaten loads of different types of food, right, and trade, right, and I've realized like food is so so important. You put in your body is important for your brain and your mind and how you think and how your body operates, right? I drink a lot of water, right? Drinking water, like, this keeps your body moving, right? Your body's already what, 60, 70, 80% of water. So like, you're then not even filling your body, your engine, with something that's going to make you work better, right? Be more, your mind's more clear. Like, you're not even working on things to better yourself. So how are you going to better yourself on the charts, right? When I start, this 21-day boot camp, I want you guys to understand certain things, right? Certain things that I do in order for me to be at a high peak. Now, I've already got the mindset. I've already got the hard work, right? I've got the grit. I've got the heart, right? I've been doing this for such a long time, not just trading, but all my life. The businesses that I've started, and I've had to restart it again. Someone's messed me up. You know, all the different types of businesses, trying this, trial and error, all of that stuff. So that builds grit, right? I know Kai mentioned something yesterday that she had 10K running twice in the past 2 months, right? And she did not close them. But what does that build? That builds grit. That builds a new skin, right? Now, of course, next time, if when she gets to 10K, she's gonna close, right? But it builds a layer where it's like, you went there, you didn't close, but how do you move on from that, right? And that's what keeps people going. That's what keeps, gives that person that extra strength, that extra armor, right? Because for me, the way I see it is like this. Trading isn't just about having a lot of money, right? It's really about the mindset and skill, right? Now think about it. How can a trader like me go from, on my thingy account, my flip account, how can I go from like 1,000 or 100 or 200 or 300 to 10K multiple times, 20K multiple times, right? Like, for me, it's just the skill and the grit and the mindset and the work and showing up, right? And you got people that have been trading for 2, 3, 4 years and can't even get to like 1K, can't even get to 5K, can't even get to 10K, right? But I'm doing it flawlessly with a £100 account, right? It's the mindset, it's the skill, it's the keep going back in. Now, I'm not saying every single flip account that I do that I get to 10K or get to 20. There's other fews that don't make it, right? But do I cry about it and be like, oh, I just lost £100? No, I know what I went in for. I went in with £100. I know what I wanted to do. I wanted to risk the hell out of it, and I wanted to make a lot of money, right? And it's crazy because, and I've mentioned this before, I could I could put £100 in an account 10 times. right? 10 times. What is that? That's £1,000, right? Different increments, different times. Okay, that's £1,000. Now, 9 of them may not work, but the one that works, I make 10k. So in terms of risk to reward, where are we? Right, I put £1,000 in, one worked, and I made basically 9,100. Okay, so it's like, not saying that I just I just go in and just flip accounts. No, I try and wait for the right times to do it when I believe that this market is going to turn. You know, the bigger time frame is looking to turn. The 4 hours looking to do the same thing, and I find the right time in the market for me to enter so that I can leverage and maximize my profits. Right now, why can't you do that? You can. I'm not saying you need to go and flip an account and go crazy, but what I'm saying is that you can keep doing that consistently with profits, with your daily trades that you're taking, right? So it's not a thing where, you know, yes, I would say I'm a genius, but it's really not that deep. Like, you really need to just lock in, right? Once you lock in and you forget about the noise and you forget about these people, you forget about social media, you forget about all these noise around you, you're gonna start doing well. I promise you guys, I was locked in for like 3 to 6 months, right? And my game changed, right? And it's down to you whether you're gonna want to do that or you're just gonna prolong your success, because all it is that you're prolonging your success. If you don't, change the things that's not working right now, how are you going to grow from it, right? It's like what I was saying to Marina yesterday. It's like, if you keep holding these trades that are losing trades, how are you gonna get better? How are you gonna grow out of it? Is you rather lose £100, £200 than losing 600, 800, because you've got more time in the game, you've got more capital in the game, you've got more opportunities in the game, right? When we start reverse engineering the stuff that we are doing that's not working, you will start to see that, oh, why did I even do that? That doesn't even make sense, right? And you have to write these down. I keep saying about having a book, right? I've got a book somewhere. I've got like a number of books, but having a book and writing things down in there, right? Life is a journey, right? And it's not about getting it right the first time. No one's ever got it right the first time, right? When I was having my child, I was stressed the hell out, right? Like, I remember I was doing a vehicle wrapping business, and like, I was stressing out because I was like, yo, there's a few more months and my daughter's born and I've got no money. Like, and having money, available funds is different to making money, right? You can make money, but having available funds, and this is what I need you guys to understand, and you need to think trading and treat trading like a business, right? I had in my vehicle wrapping business, I was making, let's just say, maybe 10k every month, like roughly 10k every month, right? But I would remember I had to pay bills. I had to pay the people that was working for me, my employees, right? And at the end of it, I'm like, okay, cool. I've got like 2 grand left. I need to keep some money spare in the account, and I need to obviously pay myself. So I'm ending up paying myself like £800 a month and keeping some money spare. I had no money. I wasn't having. I can see money, but I didn't have available funds to me. So to me, it was like, how do I change this whole thing, because my daughter's about to be born, right? I did not know there's no life book apart from doing and living it and experiencing it to teach you how to raise a child, right? So it's like it's like I was stressing the hell out, right? And the craziest thing is like, in business, you don't know when your next customer is coming in, right? But think about it, in trading, you have so many opportunities, right? Your capital is your opportunity. And the more capital that you keep growing, the more opportunities you will have. So why would you then tarnish that because of your emotion, because of how you feel? The market is moving every single day, right? So lock in with them emotions, lock in with your mindset, lock in with the people that you're surrounded with, right? Lock in with your social media habits, because I know social media is literally tarnishing a lot of people, right? Not just because, like, don't get me wrong, you can do good things on social media, right? But are you though? Are you actually, is it something that you do as a business that's making you money? Is it something that, you're doing content and is making you money? Or are you just doom scrolling, wasting time? Because that time that you're wasting, you could be using to better yourself. Okay? This is so important. Can you share more on how lock-in looks? Right. So everybody's different, right? When I talk about in terms of locking in, everyone's different, right? But locking in, what I'm saying is this, is that you have a goal in mind, right? What's your goal? To make it in trading, right? And to make it in trading, for some it can look different. Some could be like 10K, some could be 100K, some could be they just want freedom. Some can be, it can be anything that you feel like you want to achieve in, like, as a goal, right? Now you need to do steps and you need to do things in order to get to that level, in order to get there. So you need to have a plan. Okay, how am I going to get to 10K? Or how am I going to have freedom? Right? Because not everybody wants to be millionaires. Not everybody wants to be having, 100Ks and whatever. Some people just want a nice 20, 30K, and they want to take 10K out, and then they want to start a business that they've been really passionate about, and they know they've still got money and they still got that trading skill to continue generating more money, right? So you need to first understand what it is that you want in life, or what you want in trading. Okay, and then that's going to allow you to write down certain things that you need to do in order to get to that level. Now, locking in is also understanding yourself and looking at yourself in the mirror and being like, okay, so what's not making me grow? Okay, what's not making me grow? Right? Is it lust? Is it women? Is it food? Is it the people that I'm surrounding myself with? What is it? Like, I can't tell you what's not working in your life. You need to self-analyze and be like, okay, cool, I spend too much time on social media. I'll be hanging around too much with my friends. And they're not offering me anything. They're not doing anything. Now, yeah, they could be cool friends, but know what they are there for, right? Stuff like that. And these are the ways that you're going to be able to lock in, and you're going to see a difference, right? Because, in order to have a habit, you need to do it for what did they say? You need to do it for 21 days in order for a habit to lock in, right? You need to start creating them habits and doing it for a longer period of time. Not, okay, just jump on something and then it's done in a couple of days. All right. When I locked in, right, I had a goal and I had a why, right? I needed to make sure that I was putting food on the table for my daughter, right? And I was like, well, lockdown's here, I can't work, you know. I mean, I can work, I can go look for work. I had to close down my business. I'm like, yo, I need to make food on the table, right? So my locking in was like, I don't have time to be on social media. I don't have time to be chilling with people. I don't have time for anything. My focus is my daughter. I'm seeing this brand new born baby that's so innocent, and her father can't offer her anything, right? Why the hell would I be on social media, right? So your why needs to be so strong that it stops you from doing certain things, right? There's something that I spoke to one guy before a few months ago, right? And he said something about, I was like, yo, you stopped smoking. He was like, yeah, I stopped smoking. I said, okay, cool. Tell me how you did it. He goes, I just went cold turkey, right? And I was like, yo, that's boss. I like that. Cold turkey means that the why was so strong that he just decided, today I'm stopping smoking. Boom. Right? Now, some people can't do that, right? But if your why is strong enough, right, you are going to do it. And it's crazy because some people where they are critically ill, yeah, they're critically ill, and the doctor will say, "Yo, don't do this," and they'll continue to do it, right? That's because they're far, right? I just checked. I usually spend an hour or average on Instagram scrolling reels. Now, like I said, bro, you know, you need to understand that like there needs to be a balance, right? When it's excessive, right? When you're doing too much, right? That's when it becomes a bad habit. When it's affecting your work, it's affecting the journey that you are going on, and I can only go off my journey, right? I remember that was the situation. I had my daughter and I needed to make some money. I learned how to trade within in lockdown, and I learned how to trade not quick. I spent my time to learn, but it was literally 6 months. 6 months in, I was making money. 9 months, I was like profitable, right? I used all my time to learn, right? When in a day, I'll have my daughter do this, do that. In the night, I'm studying, right? I've got the laptop with her, giving her milk. Like I wanted it, right? Like I said, like I'm saying, there was no time for social media. There was no time for me to be locking in on Instagram and doing this and doing that or chilling with friends, right? So my version of locking in was totally different because I had a strong why. But we all have strong whys. We all know there's something in our life that we really, really want to do, or we want to give back, or we want to help our parents, so on and so forth, right? That why needs to be so strong, right? And another reason why it really helped me focus on locking in, I started to spend a lot of time with my parents, like my mom and stuff, and I'll see how hard they'll be working. And I can understand, I can see that they're getting older, so on and so forth. So that allowed me to then really lock in because I can visually see that they were suffering, even though they're not showing it. I can see that they're suffering. So these are all reasons to locking in. You need reasons to lock in. Now, the biggest reason to lock in should be yourself, right? It should be yourself, that you want more for yourself, that you want better for yourself. That should be the biggest reason, right? You're the engine of your life. There's no one that's going to come and help you. You need to see yourself as like you are that person, right? You are that person that's going to give back more to your parents, to your children, to strangers, so on and so forth, right? Getting into trading, it means you're a soldier somewhat, but a lot of people will fall. A lot of people don't grow in that. Okay, so from today, I want you guys to write down reasons to why you want to make it, reasons to why you want to have a lot of money, or reasons to why, like, you want freedom, right? Start questioning yourself on why do you want this. Okay, a lot of us just want money, right? And I get it. A lot of people just want money because money is powerful, right? Money allows us to do so many things, right? But this is how they've designed the world, right? For us to make money and slave for money, right? So I understand why you would want money, but not everybody wants money like that. I remember my ex-girlfriend saying, I don't even want to be rich. I just want to be happy. I just want a nice job and be happy. I was like, okay, cool. That's you, isn't it? Right? So some people, you need to really know what it is that you want. Once you know what it is that you want, you're going to be able to lock in from there. Okay? Now, does everybody get what I'm saying? Please comment in the chat if you get what I'm saying. If you're with me right now. Okay, cool. I'm gonna share my screen, and today, sorry, we're gonna talk about GBP USD, and I want to show you guys something that you guys will be able to take on from this pair to other pairs, so on and so forth. So many people, right, want to just trade gold. I don't know what it is. Like, just yes, I get it. It makes you a lot of money, but it also loses you a lot of money too. You can be an actually sick trader, right? Get your confidence, make a lot of money on FX pair, right? There's no difference between me trading, you know, let's just say GBP USD and gold. Yes, gold will move faster and so on and so forth, but I can just bump up my lots on GBP USD. Literally that, right? So let's stop thinking that in order for you to become successful, you need to trade gold, because you don't, right? You need a pair that's always going to pay you. You need a pair that you know when you jump on it, you understand every single thing that's happening there, right? Gold is very tricky, right? Don't get me wrong, and it's very volatile. But yes, once you start leveling up and making money, right? And like I said, there's so many different ways to do it. There's so many different ways to get and make money or get up in trading. There's so many ways, right? That some people just get lost in the source. Okay. Wait there, I'm gonna share the screen. Yeah, that they get lost in the source. But it's like if you're gonna be trading gold, right? Then understand the journey of gold and how it moves, and get your money and get out, right? And then you have a pair that you can always make money on, right? But for me, I rather have more money so that I can trade gold, because I understand that there's gonna be moves that sometimes ain't going to be correct. Sometimes there's going to be a lot of liquidity grabs and manipulations and so on and so forth. That is the market that you're in. So imagine now you are struggling on a pair, but you've just decided solely you're going to trade that pair, and you don't even look at anything else. How the hell are you going to grow, right? I remember I did exactly the same thing, right? So like I I started on gold because when I was doing my vehicle wrapping, and the guy that came to do his car, he was a gold trader. And I learned about trading not from him, but he's the one that I saw trading. Like I was like, oh, he's driving a nice car, this, and that. So I jumped into his signal service, and all he was doing was trading gold. So I joined trading thinking I needed to trade gold, right? Until he slapped me for months, right? This is why I'll tell you straight. This is why I think it took me 6 months, 9 months to become profitable than earlier, because I already understood a lot of the charting, right? And a lot of you understand the charting, right? It's not hard to understand charting, but what matters is obviously your capital, the market that you're trading, and gold is not a helpful market. 100% not helpful, especially to beginners, right? Now, you can make money and you can make fast money. I get it, but don't allow that to make you, make your mindset feel, as much as you don't think it, but in the back of your mind, a gambling mindset, because you can make so much money and you can make so much money fast, then it allows you to then think differently, right? I hope that makes sense. Can you guys see my screen here? Let me know if you can see my screen, please. Can you guys see my screen? Just let me know in the chat, please, because I don't want to continue and you guys don't see my screen. Okay. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay, this is GBP USD, right? I just want to take a few things off. Take a few things off here. Right, I've taken that off. We're on a weekly time frame. Okay, this is a nice weekly time frame. Now, I want you guys to understand the important things of psychological level. Now, psychological levels are levels where the market wants to go to. A lot of the time, psychological levels are round numbers. You have to understand that they're round numbers, and that's where the market wants to push to. That's where these banks, these investors are pushing the price to. They're not going to push the price to a random ass number. They're going to want to push it to a round number. Now, a lot of times you can figure out on your chart by just going back and going to round numbers. Now, I understand we have certain levels that we can add that extra, support and resistances, right? Based on the psychological level. This is how you're going to be able to grow and hold your trades, right? And have that confidence to be like, okay, cool, I understand what the hell is going on here, right? Now, I don't like drawing these too big because they are on a weekly time frame, right? So that situation there, we've got a nice area of support there. Okay? And what is it at? It's at 2.3500. Okay, that's a nice round number where I can see so the points are touching. Now, of course, they're here, 2,200 here is also a level, and if we can push this to 2,2, we've got a nice level there, a nice whole round number, right? Now, when it comes to psychological levels, let me just clone this. When it comes to psychological levels, right, you need to see them as they're going to give you so much more than just a normal support and resistance, right? And the bigger the time frame, the better it is, and the better the move is going to be from the level, right? And you always have to understand what happened previously. So we had a level from here and we blew up, right? So once the price gets to there again, what do you expect to happen? We want to see reactions from it because this is not just a normal time frame. It's a weekly time frame where you know that price did this and blew out and pushed up. So when it comes back again, you're gonna have something that's going to occur from here. Now you don't need to physically take a trade straight away, but what you can do is that you can analyze and see the changes.
Hey, bro. Sorry to interrupt you, but
Let me just delete some of these things. Hello?
can you hear me? Because since you
Yeah.
show us the chart, the voice is cracking like yesterday. So maybe you should do something with it.
Okay.
I don't know how about rest of us. Do you hear well or not?
Yeah, I hear it as well. I wasn't sure if it was my service or not, but it's like it's glitching a little bit.
Yeah, it's like yesterday because when you didn't show us the charts, it was okay, but then it started to cracking.
Okay.
Thank you.
Right. I've turned off my camera. How does it sound now?
It's better, I guess, for
Better.
this moment.
Is it better now? Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
better. Yeah,
Yes.
I think that it's sometimes I just think it's like with Wi-Fi is so weird that maybe with it showing your face and the chart, but I think that is better if we don't see you while you're talking. That probably helps.
Okay. Okay. That's cool. Okay. Cool. So let me just delete these things here. Go back actually. Okay. Cool. So from a weekly standpoint, right, you have to understand what is actually going on, right? Number one, we can see that the prices is changing structure, right? We've already changed structure this way, right? The market's done a 1, 2, 3, come down here, right? High, 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 low, high, high, right? You guys know, right? When it comes to high lows, like you need to understand your market structure. This is so important, especially from a weekly standpoint. So from a weekly standpoint, you're going to know that is bullish, right? Weekly standpoint, you know, okay, we are bullish, right? Then you're going to get certain weeks, right, when the market's obviously gone to high, low, and it's created a new high, right? You're going to start to look at this level and be like, okay, cool. The price has gone really far up, right? Now, obviously, I'm not going to just say really far up. You're going to do your analysis. You're going to have your area of support, your area of resistance, so on and so forth, psychological level, right? So once you start to understand that price is giving you bearish pressure, and you can see when it comes to this area here, you're going to see things like this. So this blue line, the market is basically going like this: high, low, high, low, high, and then we got high, low here, and then you go high, low, high, low, high. Right now, we know that that market has basically gone from low to a high to a high, low to a high, right? So now what we want to do is we want to wait for the changes of structures to occur like this, right? 1, 2, 3. We want to see the 1, 2, 3 to see the changes of structure, right? We want to see another like a retest that will confirm, and then we want to catch this trade towards the higher low, right? So what people are mistaken, and where people are mistaken, is because they've taken such a good trade, right, to create the high low, right? They forget that the market is already in a in weekly time frame, right, to go back up there. So they're wishing that this was to help when really truly in a weekly time frame we are doing this, right? This is why it's so important to understand your levels and understand the changes in the market structure that's occurring. Okay? That's so important, guys. So important. So as you can see on that weekly time frame, we are moving like this, right? And we're gonna get noise in between. We're gonna get noise in between. What is this noise? It's nothing, right? This noise don't mean nothing to us, right? Even when the market goes like this and goes like this and goes like that, that don't mean anything to us. Why? Because that's the highest point there, right? And this is the lowest point here, right? So when the market is actually, make this bigger, actually inside of the high to the high low, right? And it's inside it. Even these moves that push that should not scare you. That should not make you feel like, oh my god, the market is gonna go down. No, because it needs to first break this level, right? Let me just show you like this. It needs to first break this level, confirm it, right? Confirm it, come back and give us that. So now, then what would we have? We would have lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, right? That's how the market moves, right? So that has not occurred, right? We can see this is the lowest point, that's the highest point, and also what can we see that the markets actually gave us? It gave us 1, a 2, a 3, right? What's that? That's a change of structure, right? Market's not just going to go and change structure again and then start dropping down. Now it could if we break below here, but based on that support area that we've got, it's a super strong support. Okay, so understand your market structure. That's how you're going to win in this market. Now I know I'm showing you from a weekly standpoint, but you can actually get this and do this from all time frames, right? If I'm on a 4-hour time frame and I see this move, I'll know that let's say we get to this level, I'll know that we need to create obviously this 1, 2, 3 move, and we need to get a correction. And within that correction, you know, I'll already have a Fibonacci from the bottom to the top right there. So, and I'm going to wait for the price to do a nice level. Now, I never go and trade off 50%. I like to trade from 61.78, right? And this will allow me then to be like getting ready to see what the market is going to give me for my buys. Okay, this is so important, guys. The market structure is so important to understand, and that will allow you to be patient. A lot of you guys will say to me, "Oh, how do you be patient? How do you be patient?" I'm like, well, I'm gonna just follow my chart. Like, what's the lowest point there? What's the highest point there? Right now, you don't need to know where the highest point is, right? And that's where I think a lot of you guys go wrong, or a lot of traders go wrong. They want to guess the market. They want to be the best guesser in the world. Someone's gonna give you a prize. No one's gonna give you no prize, right? So I don't care about being the best trader in the world, right? That's not my plan. That's not my goal, to be the best trader in the world. My goal is to make money, right? My goal is to make money, right? And that's how you need to be. So if that price got to there, right? It got to there, and then we had a nice push up from that level. I'll just move it to across to there. Then now I know we've not fully came down. Right? We're not fully came down to 61, or at least these areas of resistance. Okay, so especially with the market moving so far up like this, remember what I spoke about yesterday, right? Remember what I spoke about yesterday, having these areas like so, right? You can even have a box, right? You can have a box like so, and you know what's going on from this level, right? And then from then, when it breaks out of that, you know where you want that price to obviously go, right? Now, it won't always be perfect, right? But you can guess what's going on is a flat bullish flag pattern. We may not start it from all the way at the bottom there. We may start it from where the price actually started moving from there, right? But that will allow me to understand, okay, that's a flag pattern, right? So if we talk on, let's talk about that area to that area, the bodies, right? Actually go from that body there, that body to that body there, right? And then we have it on this side like so, right? Let's say I've drew that before this process happened, which I do a lot of the times. That's how I know when it's time to sell, or I know when it's time to look for a setup, right? Because I'm reverse engineering this progression for this sell, or even for this buy to go up, right? A lot of you guys, what are you doing when the price is here? You're looking for buys, you're looking for buys, right? But you've not reverse engineered what's happened previously, right? And I hope this is making sense. This will allow you to understand exactly what's going on with price, okay? So I know where that price is looking to go. So I've got it there like that, right? So it gets to the top. Cool. I'll draw my Fibonacci. Sorry, I'll draw my Fibonacci. Let's say if the price was there, to there. But what does the price do? It just set. There's nothing going on, right? It's not even come to any area where I want to take my trade. Okay. So I know that's not ready. Okay, a lot of you are there taking trades, boom, 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 boom. Like, bro, what are you doing? Right? Wait for the market to actually give you these different things that you need to see. So once the price gets to the top there, beautiful. I know that price is now at the top, right? What would I do? Now I'm gonna go to our support and resistance. I just wanted to show you this very quickly. So from a daily standpoint, what do I have? I have my Fibonacci beautifully there, right? You're not using the tools that you've got given to you. If you don't have the Fibonacci, right, screenshot this. This is my Fibonacci style. Just screenshot that, or give it a minute, or take a picture of it. That is my Fibonacci, and you need to have it all exactly the same. Okay, so from then on, like I said, I've got 50 because sometimes I use 50 just to find the midpoint, right?
Can I ask one question really quick, AJR, before you move on? So
yeah, sure.
So when you place your Fibonacci, you're going from the lowest point to the highest point. Why aren't you going like all the way down? Or am I
Why am I not
confused?
going all the way down from here?
Yeah,
Because the
like
market
there.
has changed. The market has changed structure. So we've gone up to there, right?
Okay.
Up to there and to there. And then once the price breaks that, this becomes a new thing. This becomes its own move
Yeah. Okay.
because it's
Okay.
changed structure.
Understood. Understood. Okay.
Okay, perfect. Because, like, for example, here, now, this is another thing that you have to understand as well. You know, when we use these tools, these aren't there and it works perfectly every single time with everything that we need to do. You need to take it with a pinch of salt. But Fibonacci works very well when it's in a continuation move. Okay, so for example, I would not draw my Fibonacci down here because it would not make too much sense, like right from the bottom, because this move is coming back down, right? So how can I explain it? So you see how this is coming down all the way to there, right? Of course, I can draw my Fibonacci on smaller time frames from these lowest point to
I
there.
was just gonna ask if it was a time frame thing on where you would do that.
Now, obviously, on a different time frames, you can do that, but on a weekly time frame, I want to catch the swing low to the swing high.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Right. So based on this time frame here, right, you'll probably go down to smaller time frame. Yeah, it will look massive, right? But you will be able to catch a trade from the swing low, right? So let's just delete this. From the swing low here to the swing high here, as you can see. And that will allow you, that will give you what you need to look for. Okay. Now, because we're on a weekly time frame, we're looking at the continuous high, 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 low, high, 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 low. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay, so here is now the one thing that I want you guys to understand. I don't really like drawing my Fibonacci straight from the off. I like to draw my Fibonacci on a continuation. So I need to see first the 1, a 2, a 3, and then I know that has started some kind of trend because we've broken structure. So my Fibonacci will start from here to there. The first one, like so, yes, no, this has probably worked out a little bit, but this would not be my first Fibonacci. My first Fibonacci would be here, from the lowest point there to the highest point there. And can you see how that's now gave me a better move, right? It's gone high, high, low, high, high, low, right? But and then it's come to the first extension and the second extension, right? Now, what's actually happened is that we've got a change in trend. 1, 2, and 3 is broken the market structure, and then I can draw Fibonacci to there, and return, and that will allow me to actually get in a better trade, to hold that trade to get to TP1, and then to get to TP2, right? It's understanding and reverse engineering what happened previously. So I'll probably have something like this, right? Where the market is broken outside of that, we've got to change the structure, Fibonacci, we've got a level of support here, resistance. Once it breaks it, I know now I can be a little bit more chill in that trade to understand that we are potentially going to go and hit that TP2, which is the 60, 64 extension, 61 extension. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. Okay, so going back to what I was saying first with this Fibonacci, right? So because I've reverse engineered, I've understood that we are on our highest point that we can be at, right? The first instance is this. I know people will be like, Fibonacci, right, is come back down, right? Now, this is a situation where it's like, well, that Fibonacci it's not done a Fibonacci. It's not even gone to 50, and I don't even want it to go to 50. So remember, all the tools that you have, you need to have like, how can I say, like a rule for that tool. If that rule don't hit and don't match, then you don't take that trade. Now, I'm teaching you guys so many different things that you can unlock in your trading skill, right? Now, I will tell you in a minute how I would have got into this trade anyways, right? But I want to share something that is important to understand. You can use your tools, but don't abuse your tools, right? From the lowest point to the highest point, but right, let's just say that's what we had for then on. Now remember, I'm on a daily time frame. We're moved from a weekly. So once I'm thinking, oh, this might be a swing low, right? It comes and does that. This ain't really too. It is a swing low on a daily, but it's not really a swing low on a weekly. So for us, it doesn't really make too much sense, right? Especially if we're looking at it from a weekly. So I would have that. Be like, okay, cool. We've got this market that's pushed down. It's not got to there where I need to even get my trade, nor it's got to here where I like to take my trade from, in between these zones, right? 9 times out of 10, it will tap this, or it will go in the middle, or it will even tap the 60, 78, which is even perfect, right? But it has not done that. So for me, it's like, yo, this ain't even a Fibonacci. I'll be real, right? But how can we still get into this trade? Because we are traders and we don't want to just be watching, because you'll be waiting for days to get into a trade, right? We'll analyze this because we've got our area of support here and resistance. We can clearly see that the market has pushed above. It's 2.3500, right? Now, I know you will say, oh, well, it's 2.3500. Okay, cool. Like you can put this at 2400. 2400. Now think about it, yeah. I'm not out here guessing my support and resistances. I'm not out here looking left, looking right to guess where my support and resistance are. I know my psychological levels, right? I know that they're going to be around numbers. So at 2400 there, and then I'll get 2300. So if you want to trade in 100 pips, right? If you want to trade in 100 pips, right, from 2300 to 2400, you'll see that is 100 pips bang on, right? Now, from 2200 to 2400, that will be 200 pips, right? Bang on. Now, what do I say about mid zones, right? I can do mid zone in here, 2300, right? I'll bang 2300 there, boom, right? And now I know I've got my mid zone in that 2300. Okay, now mid zones, I like to draw them. I like to draw them in grays. So I will probably slap that and make it like gray, right? Now, what do I mean by mid zone? A mid zone is it's basically where I want price to continue from. I'm not trying to really take trades from a mid zone, but I know it can continue from a mid zone, it can stop at my mid zone, so on and so forth. I kind of use it as traffic, but you can also use it as like a support resistance, but not fully. That's why I changed the color code of it. That's my support. I mean, that's my resistance. That's my support. So how could I have got into this trade alone? Right? Remember what I was speaking about yesterday. When the price is the area, it does not mean that it's broken. Okay. Now, because we got these two zones here, this area of resistance, well, support, because it's above it. Support because it's above it, and then here is our support as well, bottom support, and then we'll find another resistance in a minute, right? If I was to ask you guys in the chat, where would I put my psychological level above my level of support in terms of, yeah, psychological level, where would I put it after 2400? 1.22, someone said. 1.4500. What else? What else? Remember, it's going above this level of support. Where would I put my resistance? So we've got 2450. Okay. And if anyone else, feel free to speak if you want to speak. I want to get you guys in. Perfect. 1.25. We are going in increments of 100 pips, right? So 1.25, we're going to slap it there. 1.25, boom, boom. There we go. We can clone this. Oh, not that. Come on, come on. Okay, we'll slap it there. Boom. That is perfectly right. Now, you don't need to have too many, right? You don't have to have too many. That's 2.5. That would be my gray zone, okay? Now, I want you to understand one thing. Because I'm going in increments of 200 here, I would want to continue this to be 200, okay? And then I will still put my mid zone where that area is, right? So I would want to do that. And then I'll put my mid zone at 2.5, right? Does that make sense? Because I'm going in increments of 200 pips. The one thing I want you guys to understand is that it's how you see the market, okay? It's how you see the market that's going to allow you to take trades from them levels, right? If I was to go increments of every 1,000 points here, which is equivalent to 100 pips, then I would potentially put my mid zone in 50s. Okay, so let's just give an example. So let's just move this and put this into blue. Let's say this was my level of support and resistance, right? You can see we are on a time frame. So this is a lot of pips. It's 100 pips. Don't get it twisted, right? And maybe you will want to trade in 100 pips and not necessarily 200 pips. Some people will trade in 500 pips, right? So just get what I'm saying. The market is up. You're not going to be out here, just trading whatever you want to trade. You're going to trade what works for you. This is why I say to people, you are the captain of your own ship, right? Your capital, everything that you've got going on in your trading account is yours, okay? So here, I'll put a mid zone, 2.225, right? Boom. Just clean it up. There we go. And I'll have a gray zone there, like so. Do you see? Now what I will do is I'll trade based off these two levels. My area resistance, my area support. Now I can go to a 4-hour time frame so that you guys can see. So you guys can see here what I mean. It's 200, we're on a bigger time frame, right? And you will see how perfectly these are aligning, how it reacts very well to our mid zones, to our support, to our resistance based on our psychological level. Now, my psychological level, I can see that the box is very big. What I like to do is I like to just make my box a little bit bigger, smaller, sorry, when I go to smaller time frames, right? So it's not like headache for me to look at, right? What's the next zone that I will put on here, right? If we're going in increments of 100, right? 100 pips, but 1,000 on there. We'll bang it there, right? You see, I'm not bothered about where my support and resistances are, right? I'm bothered about my psychological levels, where my psychological levels are going, and from then on, I can then bang that, clone it, boom, boom to there. And why would I be bothered about support and resistances when my psychological level are really intact, really, really intact, right? Now, you have to also, okay, cool, mid zone 2.5, I think, yeah, 2.5, boom, like so. Even if I go all the way across, like so, You can see it works very sweet, very nice, right? Now, when my price gets to support or resistance, it doesn't mean that I'm going to be getting into a trade. No, it doesn't mean that. You have to wait and see how it reacts. You need to go to smaller time frames and see what's actually going on. You can just then take a trade from, okay, price has gone up, done a double bottom. You can see how that price is starting to push up from this breakout. You catch this move from there to that area there. Boom, done. You're done. You've gone from area of support to area of resistance. Why the hell are you trying to go all the way down there? That's not your category. That's not your fight. Your fight is from here to there. Done. You're out of the trade, right? And you're probably holding that trade for how many hours, right? 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24. One day, boom. You've got into your trade. Now you can see how the market is obviously from this breakout here. We've probably gone up, break and retest. We've probably got into a trade maybe down here somewhere, right? We might have been into a trade, done, came back down near enough towards your entry, right? And boom, it's gone there. That's patience to profit. That's you trusting your system. That's you understanding, okay, cool, we've got a double bottom too, right? Then it's a different day, right? It's a different time now. Now we're looking at this like, oh, the market's changed structure 1, 2, 3. Then what are we doing? We are drawing our Fibonacci from this level there to that level, right? And look at that. That's even giving us even a better entry after we've made some money. We've caught maybe 60, 70 pips one day. We've waited a few more days. Yes, you could take that if you want to. For me, I'm not really that bothered, right? And what can we see? We can see that the market from the lowest point to the highest point, what does the market do? It's come all the way back down and retraced from the 61.8. Now, why do I say it's retraced from the 61.8? Because these are wicks. These wicks do give us information, a lot of information, because it's at a level of support. We can go down there. We can probably find something like this, where the markets come down, pushed up, and start to push up from a smaller standpoint. So you could potentially get into a trade from there by understanding the 1, 2, 3. Remember reverse engineering, right? We know we've changed structure, right? And this is the belief, this is the trust, right? When you're seeing this, you can see the market like from even here, right? From even here, you can see the market has changed structure. Boom, boom, boom. Come down there. Created a higher low, higher high, boom. It's changed structure again. So it needs to come back down here, come down there. But we've had the wick, which has come to our area of psychological level, support, psychological level and support. That's 2 reasons. Fibonacci, when it comes back here, when it pushes back up, if you're a morning star, that's 3, right? And then you've got this wick here, this nice wick that occurs the day after, right? So we probably would have had another Fibonacci from there to there and gone to 50, right? And then it's pushed up. We've got another 1, 2, 3, and then here is just easy, right? Consolidation, breakout, right? And now you are following your journey. Now you can be patient here in an area of resistance because you're like, yo, we broke out of it. Now it didn't get to there, came down, got the resistance is getting weaker. We've got a 1, 2, 3. We've got change of structure there, right? Now the price pushing up here, consolidating at a level of resistance. Yes, this is about to blow up, right? Now, because you already have you already know your psychological levels, your numbers, right? It's so easy for me to then catch this trade from that low here all the way to my area of resistance there on my psychological level. And look how beautiful it is. If you are patient enough, right, and you're in the trade, boom, and the market ends like this, look how much momentum we've got on that setup, right? And also, it's like we've got this nice, massive double bottom too from a bigger standpoint, right? So and we are above that level of resistance. I'm holding that trade, best believe, and this is my highest point. This is my highest point here, right? I'm gonna go to bodies. This is my highest point here. I'm holding that setup, right? And then again, what do we have? We've got another cup, a handle. We already know about that. We've got a bigger cup, right? And that bigger cup here, is what we can understand about what's happening here. Because that pushes up, and then it needs to come down here, and then we need to see a retreat here, right? And we need to see more market movement here to do something like this. And then if that confirmed, that would have then blew up even more. But the trade ultimately is from that first cup and handle, this one, right? The first one. So this second one, he pushed up, came back, he did not retest, right? He did not retest. So what the first one did, we've got this cup here. You can see like he pushed above there, come back to test that area, boom, and it's gone, right? So that's how you're going to be able to catch trades, by understanding your Fibonacci's, your change your structures, so on and so forth. Now, let me just go back, if you would allow me to go back, because I just wanted to show you them areas of psychological level. Okay, so we was at, where was we? Okay, so 200, that would have been 200 there. So 22, 24, 26. We've got mid zone at 23, so we're gonna have a mid zone at 25. Okay, 25. Now this is trading in increments of 200 pips. So if you want to catch bigger trades, just have increments of bigger pips. It's that simple. You want to catch bigger trades, have increments of bigger pips, and understand your journey on that trade, right? Clearly, we can see how that market is moving from a bigger standpoint, right? So I'm going to clone that and put it to there, right? And what do I need to do if that market then pushes? Because we are on a daily time frame. Understand that, right? And what was I talking about? How this area, how I would got into a trade here, okay? So I'm going to delete this support very quickly, so we don't have too many things on our charts, right? And we're going to just look at this instance here. How would I've got into this trade here, right? Now, I know we've not fully completed our Fibonacci, right? But I know that the market has got to a level of mid-zone, which is also an area where the price had some movements from. It pushed down, pushed above. And, there was couple retests there. So down, push above. These are all underneath it, right? These stay above, stay below. We had a little bit of action there, and then we had another action there. Right? So I know in between these two zones is super important for me to watch out. Now, just because the market gets to that zone, right? Let's just say it gets to the first zone here. That don't mean it's time for you to get in, right? Like, because you are in a seller's trade, right? Right now, that market has been coming down, right? Coming down, and I'll just draw it clean, coming down, coming down, coming down. Why are you getting into a setup here when you clearly know that the market is not in your favor to take buys, even though you are in the right bias to take buys? You need to wait for the change of structure to occur, right, in order for us to get into that trade. So you can see now the market pushes up. What we do, change structure, comes back down. Oh, it's come down very nicely on my level of support. Look at that, right? So here, now, there's two things you can do, right? For me, I will be taking trades down here just because I know that we've changed structure, the market's come back down, we've got a bit of rejection, and I will look inside here to understand what's actually happening there, right? If we've got a breakout on a smaller time frame, if there's any patterns to follow, I'll also look to see that we've got an inverse head, shoulder, shoulder. I know it's not confirmed yet, but I will be looking down here to see. Now, when you're trading pairs like GBP, USD, and Forex pairs, they're not going to be like gold, right? They're not going to be manipulative like gold. They're going to actually give you some time. They're going to give you some, what is it going to do? It's going to give you like confidence, because you know the market's not going to just go crazy and just do a madness, right? So you can be even more patient. And it's crazy because my patient came from Forex pairs. My patient came from Forex pairs because there's going to be days where the market is like, it's not doing nothing crazy, but it's not moving. It's like going up and down, up and down, up and down. But like, it's not like down 300 pips, up 100 pips. Like, no, it's like it's just moving in increments of like, look, 20 pips, something like that. Because that to that is 50 pips, right? No, 100 pips. So in there, like 50 pips, or if you're in there, like, 25 pips, just chilling. That's chilling, right? It's not 250 pips in, out. Like, you're really, really just like patient. But what would I see? I will see all of these things that I look for, right? These breakouts there. Now I can draw it a bit cleaner, like that. I can draw like these cleaner versions down here, and I can see what is actually occurring, right? I can see also we've got nice like impulse, and we've got this little correction, and once it breaks out, I can catch another impulse. Right, perfect. Right, so I'm adding everything with my support, with my resistance, with my psychological levels, and with my Fibonacci that I've got occurring there. So once that price breaks out of that zone, we've got a 1, 2, 3 here. Now remember, it's a daily time frame. We need to go on a smaller time frame. This is a 1, this is a 2, this is a 3. Okay. Let's just do it. Let's just go down there so you guys can see it. I can see already like this, but in order for you guys, you might need to go further to just see it a little bit more. But it's a 1, 2, 3. There you go. So this is the importance of you going back down to a smaller time frame to see it. If you don't see it, you need to see it, right? So you need to go to small time frame. I'm not going to smaller time frame because I need to. I'm going to small time frame because you guys need to see and understand that we only go to smaller time frames for us to see bigger picture, right? More information. We're not going to small time frames to get in. Time to get in. No, you're going on here to just have a look and see, change your structures and what's going on, right? So, right, let's look at this. Boom, 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 boom. That's already changed your structure there. But I want to see a 1, 2, 3. So we've got a 1, a 2 there. But this will give me more confirmation, right? Because I like to, I want to see more like a swing high, like a swing high, boom, boom, right? And then from here, what do? I'll draw my Fibonacci. A, B, right? Look at what's going on now, right? We've got a change of structure. We've got a breakout of that area, right? I know some people would have probably would have wanted to catch a trade early from here, or they would have seen this inverse head and shoulder here, right? Yes, that's happened, right? Cool. You can catch that if you want to, right? And it's gone to there. But don't cry when the price comes back down. You're like, oh, the price is so good. No, it's done what it needed to do. Now it's the new move, right? So from what I'm showing from the Fibonacci, right, and from the daily time frame, from that head and shoulder from a daily time frame, That's where I'm getting in, right? And what do I say about reverse engineering, right? And this is what's going to get you to the next level. This is what's going to make you become a better trader, right? So we've got that Fibonacci right now, right? We don't have to get into a trade right at that level of support. We don't have to. We can wait for the market to give us what we need to see so we can be very, very confident that we are looking to get into that trade. So I can see we've got a nice ascending triangle there. I'm just going to delete the Fibonacci, this big Fibonacci. Yeah, I'm going to draw it on later because I want you guys to see the price. And I'm also going to change the color of this. Let me change. Yeah, that's fine. Right. So I wanted to see how we've gone from understanding Fibonacci from the bottom to top, and it didn't work out. It's nothing that, you know, it's not clean. It's not gone to any retracement numbers, right? And how we was able to still catch that trade because we're like, okay, cool, we're still in buys, right? We're still, you know, even though it's not come all the way down, that Fibonacci, it's not worked out. It's not like a Fibonacci. We can't draw Fibonacci just yet, right? But how to get into another trade? So we find an area where the price has broken out outside of this trend. Now I understand, you know, sometimes I draw my trends like this where I want to see a fake out, and I would see that and I would draw it after the fake outs happened. I would not even be bothered here because if you think about it, guys, right, this is where a lot of people will get burnt, right? A lot of people get burnt here. Why? Because they will be eager. Like, oh, it's broken, it's broken, it's broken. Bro, it's not broken because what's going on? Market is pushing like this, like that. Breaks the low, boom, breaks the low. So for me to get into this trade, we need to change structure. It needs to change structure, right? Like so. It has not changed structure. So for me, I always laugh because that used to be me. That used to be me waiting for that breakout to occur, and I'll get in. Ah, yes, time to make money. And you're thinking, boom, yo, man's gonna be making money and going to the 9% rule before you know it, the pressure goes below and just and dumps on you because you didn't wait for the structure. This is why it's so important to use the tools that you have, and even if you have to draw it like this. Draw it on. Draw it on. Like, you know, it's you versus you. Draw it on. Right? So that here, right, market's pushing up there, right? Especially on a 4 hour time frame. Let it do its thing. Be easy because you still have hours for you to get into this trade. You know, like that's what I'm saying. Like, you know, you have hours to get into this trade. If this trade was to go up, you have hours. The market needs to literally go boom, 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 and then you might need to get in. Does that make sense? Like you've got hours. This is a 4 hour time frame, but you want to get in on that wick that has not even changed structure. Like this is how silly it sounds. Do you know what I'm saying? Now, this would be, you know, FX that's going to allow you to have time to understand what's going on. On gold, sometimes it's a bit different. You will get the big wick and it will drop back. But gold, it still works the same. You just got to be on time frame and wait for it. But anyways, back onto here, right? So we've changed structure very nicely here. We've got Fibonacci, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, another one. But I've gone from this one, this one, this one because I like to see, you know, swings. I like to swings before I'm making sure that we are going up. And you have to remember as well, when we're using moving averages, right? I don't really use it much, right? But you guys can use it. This is important. I've spoken about moving averages before. They will help you out, right? They will help you out massively, right? This average is 14, I think. This is 14 close. This is 14 close. And then the other one is 8. 8 close, right? Now, I've spoken about this on shift season, right? So you need to go back on shift season and understand what it is that we speak about on here, right? Because I don't want to really go back over that. Okay, so once we're here, you can either add your moving average as an extra confluence. But remember what I was talking about reverse engineering. Okay, so we've got our 1, 2, 3, right? 1, 2, 3. Fibonacci goes from the lowest point to the highest point, right? We wait for it. We have to wait. This needs to come down and hit our area, right? We are happy to hit 61.78. But to be honest, that works perfectly for us, that Fibonacci, because we have a level of support here, right? So you're going to have to understand that that market will want to come and touch that psychological level. Remember, it's a round number. That's where the market wants to go to. Why would you get into a trade when it gets to 24 here on a 50? 50 doesn't even mean nothing to me. Yeah, I know sometimes the market will move from 50, but remember what I was telling you guys earlier. You're going to need to have rules in your Fibonacci, rules in your trend lines, rules in your breakouts, right? And you got to figure out what works for you. I will tell you what works for me, but then you got to go and do the work. You can't trust that if you don't do the work, right? And this is what happens. People will get a mentorship, and they'll get a mentorship from me, or they'll come on VIP, and they expect me to make it work for them. And it's like, well, you've got into that trade, right? You followed the system, but you didn't understand the system fully, right? So how are you gonna then get the results that you want if you haven't put in the work? You'll just want to pay to not do the work, but then you realize you have to do the work, right? I can show you all these things and it does work, but for you to build confidence, for you to grow, you need to go back and do the work, because once you see it from you doing it yourself, you can be like, oh my god, it does make sense, it does work. I've done it 4 times, 5 times, 10 times, 100 times, 1,000 times. I can still see the same thing, right? Here, I used to trade off 50%. Then I said, nah, I'm not taking trades from 50% because a lot of the times I'm taking losses. I'll probably win 1 out of 7. So I'm like, nah, I'll take it from 61.78. Then I was like, okay, cool. Sometimes I'll take it from 61.8 and it doesn't work out. And it will go then again to 78. So what can I do to help me use this tool properly? It's like, okay, I'm going to link it with area of support. I'm going to link it with a breakout. I'm going to link it with a chart, right? You're a trader, you're an analyst, but all you want to do is make money. Make it make sense. The money's going to come from the work that you are doing. It's literally that simple. Okay, it's that simple. So here, right, reverse engineering, like I'm saying, right? What do we see? We see a nice head, and I don't like the red. The red is giving me PTSD. Okay, we're gonna do like a nice orange, right? We're gonna do a nice orange. Actually, blue is fine for now. Blue is fine, right? So we've got a nice head here, right? And if you don't finish my sentence, I'll be mad because I've been talking about this for so long, right? We've got a nice head, shoulder, shoulder. I spoke about this yesterday, and what has happened? We've got a failed pattern. We've got a nice failed pattern, and you would have from there to there. You're like, okay, cool. If that was gonna work, and if we was to draw a line in the middle, like so, we would need to have something that happens here that goes like that, right? Does that make sense? That goes like that. I'll need it to go like that. It has not done that. And what does it do? It breaks above it. So I'm like, oh, bang, right? Fibonacci 1, 2, 3 touch. Okay, let's go back. And you got to add up these numbers, right? These confluences, right? These are all confluences that's going to give you reasons to get into a trade. Okay. So we have 1, 2, 3 Fibonacci. So I've got change of structure. Fibonacci. That's 2, right? Support. That's 3. Failed pattern. That's 4. And then we've got Morning star, that's 5, which is a bullish pattern. We've got ascending 6. You're telling me you've got 6, and we've even got a breakout here. That's a 7. That's 7, right? And then you're getting into a trade around these levels here, right? You could even get into a trade when the market pushes up, pushes down, and then as it's pushing up, you can get into a trade there. That's fine. But if you get into a trade here, that's okay. If you get into a trade here, that's okay, right? And you're catching to the next zone. So you can see how much you have to get in. So when people are stressed about catching a trade so perfectly down here, it's like, yo, it's not ready. Wait for it to be ready, right? It's how many confluences? 7 confluences, and I'm still adding more as I'm going. I'm still looking at the journey and what's going on, right? And then again, what do we have? Right, delete all of this, and we're following it. We're following what's going on, right? We are following this whole journey, right? So we've got our Fibonacci there. I'm not Fibonacci, sorry. We've got our trend there. The trend. What do we aim for? 90% rule, right? 90% rule. If you don't know about 90% rule, you need to go back and watch shift season. And I really, honestly, guys, get shift season. If you, I'm sure everybody here has got shift season 1, right? Because it comes with this, right? Once you've done the work there, get shift season 2 and watch shift season 2. Because and all you gotta do is lock in on them videos. Lock in on them videos, and you're gonna see your game change. Okay, 9% rule. Boom. So by the time I'm already catching the 1, 2, 3, and the markets come to around these levels. Oh, sorry. The markets come to these levels. What do I need to see? I need to see another change in structure on a smaller time frame. We clearly get that. Boom, boom, boom. There, change your structure there, right? And it's doing its thing. You can be getting in. Boom. This cup and handle. This gives me a nice push to there, right? Oh, what's that? Wait. What's that, guys? This is. Yes. So we get a nice push from that cup and handle, right? That is a nice trade to catch, as a scalp or whatever to that next zone. Now, remember what I was saying. Some of you guys are so blind, and I keep telling some of you, if it's you, then feel it. Feel it in your brain. Feel it in your bones. I don't care. Cry if you have to, but you need to learn from it, right? You'll see area of resistance, and you won't even do anything. You like, oh, it's resistance. It probably will go down, but I'm going to hold my trade. You're at resistance. It doesn't matter. Like, this is still a soldier. This is still a wall, right? The most basic things of support and resistance, you absolutely not want to listen to it, right? Now, by all means, if you go into that trade down here, right, and you was holding to 90% rule, that's okay. But you need to know that. You don't need to panic here and panic sell and panic get out and whatever. You have to know where it is that you're going. So if I got into a trade down here, I know I'm going to 90% rule, but I know that I might face some challenges around this area, right? And the market may even come all the way down and then continue pushing up. But what do I have? I have soldiers here, mid zone, right? Where it will help me. What also do I have? I have my 1, my 2, my 3, boom, boom. And I can draw my Fibonacci again from down here and potentially be like, okay, cool. Where can that price actually go to? Now, I wouldn't want the price to go all the way down further down here, but it came down and hit 50. And it hit 50 on my psychological level on the mid zone. So I'm like, okay, that's nice. That's nice because that allows me to understand there's a little bit more resistance here, right? I mean support here. I look left, I'm like, okay, cool. Right, what happened before? It stay down, stay down, stay down, stay down, stay down, broke above, but came back down, then broke above, they stayed above, and then obviously broke below, stay below, stay below. So once that price has been giving me this all up here, I'm like, okay, cool. This is a non-potential area for us to actually raise from. So this is an exception when it comes to 50%, and it's in a mid zone. Me personally, I wouldn't be catching trades really, truly from here, even though you can, but you have to catch it sweetly. You have everything's got to be aligned, right? But I would rather catch trades down, right? So in terms of trading wise, right, and in terms of having this trade set up on, right? Let's say we got into here, long position, boom, boom, boom. We might have got into on a breakout, head, shoulder, shoulder, didn't do nothing. Your stop loss potentially can be below these levels here, right? Safer stop loss will be down here. I'll be honest, right? But nobody likes to take big stop losses, right? Really, truly, your stop loss should be down here, and you're aiming for up to there. And what Fibonacci? That's not the Fibonacci that I've got on. Delete that Fibonacci. It was here, right? Boom. It's the highest point there. Okay, so you're getting in there. Your stop loss would be personally underneath there, but me personally, you know, you have to see the market how it's moving from the smaller standpoint, maybe 2 hour, right? You can get away with that because the price has finally done that. But if you was to get in early there and you had it there, you would have got stopped out. This is more of a safer entry below this level here, and you're aiming to there, right? Now that is pretty much a 1, 2, 3, right? We can just make a 1, 2, 3, not by just saying, oh, let's just make a 1, 2, 3, but no, you would actually understand once you're getting up there and the price is done all of this, it's not coming back, right? So we can get a 1, 2, 3, but that is, let's say, 70 pips. 70 pips to make a 1, 2, 3, and you're risking, you know, you can risk whatever you want to risk, right? Let's say you're risking £500, right? £500, that might give you on GBP USD, might say, oh, you might need to use a 0.5 lot, right? Or maybe a 1 lot, right? I'm not sure. No, yeah, maybe a 1 lot, to be honest. Maybe 1 lot, it will say you got to use a 1 lot. You're not going to be scared using a 1 lot there because you've got all your confluences. The market's giving you everything that you need to go for, and you're going to the 90% rule. Yes, okay, cool. You might not go all the way right to the top. You might even go to here, right? But best believe if I'm in this trade, right, and I've caught this trade, I am not getting out of this trade just because the price has got to where I need to get to, right? What would I do? I'll reverse engineer again. So I'm like, okay, cool, Fibonacci is there, boom, 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 right? I'm like, okay, cool. 9% rule is done. But what could occur, right? What could occur? If the price gets to there, which it does, we can have a cup and handle. Just by me being patient for a couple more hours, I've been able to make another, how many pips? Another 100, 200 pips, right? Another 200 and 170 pips because I was patient, right? Now, here I wouldn't be greedy too much because I'm levels and stuff. This broke out. It needs to come back and retrace, right? 1, 2, 3, it's pushed up, right? And then it goes back to my weekly that I was talking about, right? Goes back to my weekly that I was talking about, right? Boom, we'll need to come back and then it will go back up again, right? So that situation then is I will decide what is working for me, what I can do, right? That here, going from a 1 to 3. Sorry, I'm gonna finish off shortly. I'm going from a 1 to 3 all the way to potential there, right? Because you've already surpassed everything that you wanted to go. You've gone from a 1 to 3 to a 1 to 5, right? You know, be happy to close out your trades, right? You've gone way past everything that you needed to do. Like looking at this and going up there, that should not be your worry. That should not be your worry. Your worry should be here. I've taken profits. I've actually pushed the trade as much as I can. I've pushed it to the limit. Okay, I'm gonna get out, right? And if you didn't get out, the market would have done this 1, a 2, a 3, right? And it would have came back up, right? Because you know the market needs to change structure before it starts pushing down. You could have even got out here, right? Because you would have been like, you know what? I'm not looking to hold this any longer, right? The market's obviously come back to area of support, psychological level again. You've got out. You're like, well, we're still in buys, right? We're still in buys. Why are we gonna be stressed out? We ain't gonna be stressed out, right? What are we gonna see? We're gonna see what the market has given us. Okay, what has the market given us? Impulse, this correction, and we're gonna wait for another impulse. But on that impulse here, what do you need to do on that area of support? We need to wait for it to change, right? We need to wait for the behavior to change. We need to wait for it to confirm what's actually happening, right? So I'm just going to draw it on very quickly so that you guys can see and we can be done for today, right? So boom, where are we? 2.6. So we're just going to go straight to 2.7. 2.6, no, 2.8, sorry. I'm going to go straight to 2.8. Remember, I'm trading in 200 pips. And you're probably going to be like, wow, how did I just go and I've done the work, right? I was on my charts hours doing the work, right? And, now people just think, I just make money just to make money. No, I was on these charts with a baby on my hand, right? Feeding my daughter milk. I'm checking the charts. I'm reading. I'm looking all through, right? This is 200, 200, 200, 200, 200, 200, right? If you want to trade in 100, calm, trade in 100. 100 will probably be there. Boom, 100 done, 100 done, right? 100 done. Like, it's clockwork, right? I don't be out here drawing, flipping, boom, drawing so many of this, so many of that. So, like, bro, you're wasting your damn time. Choose what you want to do. You want to hold, you want to swing, you do some back tests by looking back to see if it works, right? And I'll promise you, we can go all the way back, right? This won't allow me, but it will show you that it works, right? Even if you go through your charts, the numbers, the things that are put on, they work. Okay, so where were we? Okay, here. Okay, so 200, we've got 200. If you want to put your mid zone in, you can. Now, I'm going to delete this because, like I said, if prices moved from me, I don't need it. Like, me having that line down there or line down there, it's not making me any money, right? What's making me money is me being up to date with my work and what's actually happening, okay? So, 2.8 is there. So remember, this ain't happened yet, right? We're down here. The prices came back down to that cup and handle there. Okay. So same again. 1, 2, 3. Right. Now you have to understand we can go from down here to down there, right? And still get that 50% down there, right? Now, I want you guys to understand one thing. When you are trading with these tools, right, you need to play around. It needs to make sense for you. Okay. A lot of the times I'll draw a Fibonacci like this. I'm like, okay, cool. Okay, I see it. It's reactive from 50. A lot of the times I don't want to take it from 50. So I'll be more patient, right? I'll be more patient, right? I'll draw something like this, right? Remember what I said about the trend line yesterday? If you can't draw a trend line properly, right, don't feel no way to draw a parallel, right? Because that's also will help you. And you are waiting for the market to fully break out. As you can see here, we change structure there. One, right? We're changing the structure there. And of course, you're going to get wicks and stuff like that. Just be mindful. Just be easy, right? This is why it's so important to go with when you setting your stop loss, right? You're so mindful. So if I'm going to a trade around these levels, my stop loss will be here. If I go into a trade around these levels, my stop loss will be still here because this ain't broken, right? Once that's broken, yes, I will put a stop loss like around here. But yes, you could have got stopped out. Well, me, I'll get back in. That's why sometimes people say, why'd you get back in? Because I'm like, yo, that was probably a stop loss hunt. It's normal, it's part of the game. You can't cry about it. You get back in and you go again. Okay? That's normal. Right. So Fibonacci, not Fibonacci, the parallel line there. Right. Because we've got that parallel line. What else are we waiting for? So Fibonacci, what I was saying was, I'll draw it from there, but sometimes you have to be an artist in this game. Like I always say, you know, you being an artist and you drawing on your charts and seeing what's actually going on, be able to make a lot of money, right? I will move my stop line and my Fibonacci from there to there. Why would I move my Fibonacci from there to there? Because I'm like, well, the end of the day, right? Market went up, came down, then went up to there, right? Well, he first did that, and then came down, and then he went up to there. So because I'm on a 4-hour time frame, I'm not very much trading from weekly or daily, right? I'm gonna see that the market pushed from this level. This is where we had the, like, you know, this is where it just went boom, straight up, right? So I know that a lot of movements is coming from that area because that's where it like fully went up, right? I understand how, you know, it can be confusing, but this comes down from just being on your charts and doing your charts, and you'll be able to see a lot of these things, right? You can draw Fibonacci from there, boom, then another one will be from there to there. These are smaller time frames, right? And then another one will be from obviously there to there, right? From there to there, right? There's a little one there, but that don't work. From there to there. And I'll be able to see that, okay, I've gone from these lows to that high, right? Swing low, swing high, right? And that will give me a more accurate. Even though I get it, and I was saying about how you can go from there to there, and it does go to 50, but for me, I'm not really fancying that, right? I'm not fancy because I don't like trading from 50. But let's just say, and the thing is, I just want to tell you one thing. It doesn't even matter, right? Whether it went to 50 and I had the Fibonacci at 50, or I had the Fibonacci and it went to 61. Why? Because I will still have to wait for changes of structure. Okay? I would still need to wait for changes of structure. So the change of structure is here, right? Change of structure is there. And we have to look at it from this standpoint. Boom, 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 right? So even all this setup here, once the price is pushed out, right? And I was saying about getting to a trade, you would still actually be very much that's normal for you to get stopped out because the price has not changed structure really and truly, right? All of this dancing here, right? We still need to change that structure, right? I mean, yes, you can say it's changed structure on a smaller time frame, which is normal, and you can potentially get into that trade, but that's something that occurred, right? Even though it's the right move, that would occur, and this is normal for us to take trades like this and lose, right? Because we're humans and it's normal and everything. But the perfect setup, really and truly, would have been at this level, right? Break and retest at that level, because now it's come back and retested. We've also got this like the market's gone up, down, and each time it's getting higher and higher and higher. So you know, at that breakout, we're gonna get a push up towards the next area. Now, reverse engineering again. The market's gone to 9% rule, right? So expect something to happen because these people have taken out their profits. Out. So this is why we get a retest. But that retest doesn't mean it's gonna go down. The retest is coming back to hold this area for us to continue pushing up. So there again, you got another setup that you can take as that market is changing structure, we've got another even star. No, sorry, inverse head and shoulder. Boom, boom, boom. Right on that breakout. That is the breakout. Right. What do you get? You get the market coming back and retesting. You may need to go smaller time frame to catch that. But boom, it's done. Right. I'm not going to be bothered about, oh my God, the price has moved so far up. No, because you're bothered about that. Look, that's what's occurring. That's what's gonna happen. Okay. So does everybody get what I've been speaking about today? Please tell me in the chat. Give me a second. Okay. So okay, cool. Glad everybody understands. So we when we're trading, right? Look how many, I want to understand, like, and this is one thing I had to understand too, right? Wait, let me see. So basically, it's important to understand the daily movements of the forex pairs. I can't even read it. Keeps going past forex pairs trading, so we can protect ourselves from setting unrealistic target. Yes, you have to. You have to look at everything. Explain everything. Thank you. Appreciate it. Yes, you have to look at everything. There's no need for you to trade a pair and you're not even knowing what's actually happening. And I want you guys to understand when it comes to patience, right? Like, I've got my two zones here, right? Zone resistance, zone support. Okay, I can draw my mid zone if I really want to, right? 2.5 will it be? 6 to. Listen, my brain is not working. This is why I got 50% here. Sometimes, guys, you don't need to think. Just draw. Everything's on there. Like, I don't want to think in a number. Oh, where's midpoint? Where's this? Where's that? Oh, listen, I'm not even that bothered, man. Okay, cool. Mid zone there, right? And you can see how beautifully it works, right? And why are you stressing out about, oh my god, I missed the trade. No, you can see exactly what's going on. You can see exactly what's going on. You're like, I've got my trend. My trend is there. I've got my level support, right? And here, if you really wanted to get into a trade, it's so easy to get into a trade here, right? Maybe not as easy as I'm saying it, but you can figure out what the hell is going down here, right? But going to a smaller time frame, but not going to look and say, "Oh, I'm ready to catch a trade." No, go and see what's actually happening here on a smaller time frame, right? Go and see what's happening down here. Look, I can draw this like this and tell you that that price was consolidating at that zone, right? Come on. Why is it crashed? What, the price was consolidating at that zone, right? And what did we get? The market broke outside, came back to retest, and then it probably gave us bullish pressure, and then we would have got into that level, right? And I would have got into that level. I would have been a little bit more patient because what do I know? What do I know about trend lines? I know when trend lines dancing, give you that big push, it comes out, breaks out, and then gives you that big run. I know that's what happens on the market. What do I also know? Remember, I'm reverse engineering, and the one thing I want you guys to start really understanding is reverse engineering. That's why I make a lot of money, right? Like I say, I don't trade like everybody else. What do I see here? I see that this is a descending triangle, right? And that descending triangle, once you get to the bottom, we never actually got a break and retest, right? I'm gonna want to see a break and retest. Now, retest has came, but has held it nicely. Why? Because this market is moving in swing high, swing lows, right? So I'm waiting for that market to now swing again and change, and by reverse engineering it and clearing out your charts a bit more, you're going to be able to see that. And it's funny because look at where my descending triangle is, right? My descending triangle is bang on. Don't even need to move this. Like it's like so perfect. And then boom, right? We know we've got change of structure. Yes, he has changed structure here, but this is major change right there. Price comes back, boom. You know what I mean? Like it's no need to stress out about it. Right? And the one thing I want you guys to understand is this right here, right? What wait, let me see if this works out. You know, it's like when you are on the charts, you can just start dancing with it, right? You want to know, what's going to be happening with the market. Dance with it, right? The market is there for you. You know, I've got this as there, and I'm like, okay, I know we're fully out of that now. We've broken above, it's changed structure. Yeah, the market probably dancing in and out, right? You can clearly see what's going on here now, right? But obviously that didn't get there. That got there, came back down, there, came back down, boom, came back down to that area, and then it's gone. This is continuation, right? Like people always ask me, how do you know where you are in the market? Because I'm drawing on my charts and I can see what's going on, but I'm not adding too much that it's confusing me, right? This here is just for me to understand what's going on. I don't really always need to have that. I know what's going on. I know my 9% rule is there. I know once we break outside of this area, we are gone to the next zone. And it's crazy because we're on 2.8. Let's go to 1.3. 1.3. Boom. 1.3 is there. Right. 1.3 is there. What's up here? Nothing really. What's on the left? You can see. We see the reason why that market decided to dance, right? And this is why it's important to, obviously, when the market is so high up, to understand where it is the market can go to, right? Like so. Okay, but that there is a nice representation of impulse, correction, impulse there, right? And you see that from a bigger standpoint. And look, we've not even had to go to smaller time frames, and we can clearly see what's going on, right? So if you really want to start getting good at your getting into trades, right, and holding your trades, you're going to be looking at it from a bigger standpoint. And the one thing that I wanted to say, and I'm going to end on this, is that look how many times we could have got into this setup to go up, right? All this time here, we could have got into this up to go up. And by being patient, you would have been able to allow yourself to get into that setup, right? Yes, I know 90% rule, you could have probably got out. And, but by me understanding that trend line, right? By me understanding that trend line, I would understand that this market definitely wants to keep pushing up, especially when we got that wick out and then it pushed back inside the trend and bounced off this area. Remember, break and retest, right? I know that was ready to go, right? Even when it came back down here again, this is even a better reason for us to get either shoulder, breakout, retest, boom. Like it's all there for you, right? But you're not having patience and you're not understanding what's going on, right? Because you've got too much drawn on, right? These small little things like this will change your game. Okay. All right. I'm gonna stop sharing now. I'm gonna go back on the camera. And let me know if you can hear me. I'm gonna ask some questions, or if anyone's got any questions, feel free to come and ask. But how do you think that session went, guys? I said 1 hour, we flipping 2 hours. I'm passionate about this game, man. I want guys to win. Any questions? Really simple when you explain it. It is that simple, honestly. It's just how you see it. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, getting into trades on a 4 hour time frame. Yes, of course, you got to go down, but you can wait. You can literally wait like a day. You can wait a day or 2 hours, or for the day. You can actually wait to get into a setup, right? You don't have to get into a setup like that and boom, it, all of a sudden you think you've missed the trade. And this is why I keep saying, like, patience will make you a lot of money, because look at setups like that. You've got 7 confluences. The market's doing exactly what you need to do. You've seen from the bigger point to to like a smaller standpoint, but not too small. 5 minute, 15 minute, what are you doing down there? Like, you need to be scalping down there, right? You only go down to 15, 5 minute, 1 minute if you want like really, really sniper entries. But these sniper entries is like, it's like what I do, and I will show you guys on sniper entries, but it's what I do based on when I'm flipping an account, and I'll do it on gold because I'm waiting for them sniper entries. But them sniper entries aren't important. I'll be honest, I've caught like 1 or 2 or 3 sniper entries in my whole career, basically, where I've got in and it's not like it's just gone boom, right? And a lot of the times you'll get, the market will move up and down. But yeah, you have so much time to get into these markets and these charts. So do not force it. Don't force it, man. Like, I'm telling you now, if there's a double bottom, right, or double top, it will come back to retrace. Like, have this mindset of, once the market has broken something, it will come back to retest, right? Now, I understand if it's like gone and you've missed it, right? Don't then say, let me get into this trade. No, have 3, 4 pairs on the side of your chart, have obviously gold if you obviously trade gold, and have over 3 pairs that you like. Me personally, I had GBP US, no, I had GA, AU, and gold, and Euro USD, right? And what I used to do is on the weekend, I will go through every single chart, right, and I'll see where looks good. I have my support area, my resistance area, just like the psychological level on a weekly, daily, and I'll be like, okay, cool. This week, right, there's no real need for me to catch a trade or to look for a trade, because that market is nowhere near my area of support. It's nowhere near my area of resistance. So it's like, okay, cool. It's probably chilling on a mid zone, and it's like, okay, I might have to analyze it and see how the market moves. But you will get some trades where it's like, bro, that's perfect. That's literally at my area of support. All I need to do is zoom in on that and see what's actually going on with Euro USD, and then boom, 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 boom. Before you know it, you're gone, right? Gold is the same thing, right? You don't have to force it. Now, like I was saying to you guys, gold is such a gem because we can actually make a lot of money fast, right? But what the thing is, you can lose the money fast too. So you have to remember to go in, get your money, get out, get your money, get out, get your money, get out, until you have a big enough account to hold trades on gold like no tomorrow, and it does not bother you. And I know a lot of you are holding gold trades and you've got small accounts, which is also good. But the thing is, you have to lower your risk. You can't up your risk. You have to lower your risk. And as soon as you keep growing with your account, then you can grow your risk. You can hold more trades, right? And there's I've got a guy who's been on mentorship with me for about a year and a half, 2 years, right? And he keeps going in blips of making money, losing money, making money, problem in his life, da 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 da. And he's such a good analyst as well. He's very good on the charts. The thing is, it's just his mindset is messing him up, because what he'll do is he'll make money when I tell him, yo, listen, there's no need for you to hold these trades to the moon like you're friggin' Elon Musk, right? You need to just make money, understand your journey, make money, make money, make money, make money, right? There was one time he made like 5 to 10K because he listened and he continued, but then he went back to just trying to hold trades forever. And it's like, bro, you're up 150 pips and you're not taking no profits. Like, what the hell? And then you come back down. He's like, oh yeah, but and that's the difference is people are treating gold like, like it's an FX pair that will allow you and will give you time, and when it's gone, it's gone. No, like gold will give you money, but understand your journey. That's the main thing. By understanding the journey, it will allow you to definitely make money, understand the rule that I'm talking about, and I promise you guys, if you do this for 3 months, all you need to do is for 3 months, right? Just say to yourself, like, yo, I'm gonna get into these trades, right? And that's fine. But if I'm up like 400, 500, bomb, I'm locking it off, I'm calling it a day and going again the next day, right? I promise you, you're gonna be so far up that you're gonna be like, what the hell happened? Trading this has been fake the whole time I've been trading, because you will make a lot of money, right? And I know, and there's one specific thing that happened to me as well. I always remember these things. It's like I was saying to myself, there's never a time I've got into a trade, right? And I've lost, and I've never seen like greens. It's not gone blues. Like every trade I've gone in, even if it's $5, $10, $15, right? When I was starting, I was like, even if it's like $2, I've gone into profits. Imagine I closed every single profit, right? This is what I was like saying to myself at the time. I was like, imagine I close every single profit, right? How much money would I have right now? And I was like, nah, F this. Like, I was like, yo, you know what? It doesn't matter what I make, I'm closing. And I was like, boom, 5, 3, $10. And I was scalping hard, $15, and doing the right things as well. Like, going on charts and making sure that I was literally on the 1 minute, boom, change your structure, boom, I'm in, $5, boom, I'm out. The breakout retest, trend lines, this, that. Like I was doing it all, right? And I made a lot of money, right? Which allowed me to just grow from there, because I was like, okay, now I've made some money, I've got some breathing room, right? I can now be a little bit more patient. I worked hard on grafting, no sleep, boom, making sure I'm making this bread. Now I've got some money behind me. I can now hold some trades and probably put a bigger lot size and be more patient. And that's where all this patience to profit came from, because I honestly, I was just blowing accounts and giving money to the markets, because I'll be up and I'll lose. I'll be up and then I'll lose. I'm like, what the hell? Do you know what I'm saying? Because we are wishing, we are hoping, but instead of being that robot that's saying, yo, I'm going to make money, right? There's no doubt that like I'm gonna lose in this game. And like I say to you, and going back to what I was saying before, it's your why. It's the people that you're hanging around with. It's all the things like food that you eat. These small, minute things add up to you making them decisions on the chart, right? And it's funny because once you start making money and you making money consistently, and I'm talking 300 here, 150 there, 200 there, 500 here, boom. And let's just say you do it consistently for a month, right? You're going to be so far up, you don't even know, you're not even going to recognize yourself. You're like, yo, what the hell, I'm up this amount. But what that does to your mindset, it calms you so much down. It's not like you're on survival mode. It's not like you're fighting. And then you start to see the chart so clear, right? You start to see the chart so clear. It starts to make sense. You don't be rushing as much. You're like, you know what? Cool. Like, we don't have to take a trade today if we don't want to, right? And then things starts to make more sense. Okay. Okay, cool. I'm just reading what you guys are saying. Really good, simple and explain it. Passion is inspiring. Appreciate guys. If you know the chart that you're teaching to them, we're still playing. Much grateful. You're welcome, guys. Like I said, 50% from me, 50% from you guys, and that's how we're gonna go. How we're gonna grow. Does anybody have any questions and want to come up and ask in? before we end here? Thank you, man. I appreciate it, bro. Like in this game, you gotta be an artist, bro. And you know, the one thing I will say to you is this: is like it's your chart, it's you. It's like when you look in the mirror, what do you see, right? So if you believe that you're an exceptional person, which we all are exceptional people, there's no one in this world that has the same DNA like you guys, right? Udi is different to Marina. Casper is different to Ethan, right? We're all different. So the only thing is you need to believe it. And how can you believe it? First by thinking, right? Once you think about it so much and that's what you think and what then is action, the action that you do, right? Like before I would allow no, I not seriously, like before I would allow girls to chat rubbish like in and I'll just take it, right? Then I was like, nah, I'm not having it. Like, I've gone through the struggle. Not, I'm not even talking about now. I'm talking back in the past, right? I'm like, I work hard every single day. I'm coming in, working 12 hours on my business, right? Hardly no sleep, this, and that. How's a girl gonna tell me what to do or try and chat rubbish about me, right? Before I used to allow it. Then I had a switch. I was like, nah, I'm not doing that, right? Because you look at yourself in the mirror and you know what you're capable of. You know what you do. So anything that you do then, right, you need to do to the high standard, right? You can't then just be like you want to be great, but then you don't even take time on your charts to be an artist, right? When I'm talking about these psychological levels and these key points and drawing your boxes at the end of the candles and so on and so forth, it's because I've done the work on them, right? I've done the work on them, so I know what works best, right? But in order for you guys to use what I'm showing you, you also need to go back and look at the charts, right? But then you might find certain things that you can add on to what I've shown you, right? My job is to light you up, right? Like a candle, to light you up, and then it's your job is to continue it, right? You don't have to trade exactly like me, but you can use the things that I'm helping you to understand, to open your eyes. Then you might see something different. I've already found something that works for me, right? So it's just lighting you guys up, man, and getting you guys to the next level. But if there's no questions, right, then it's a wrap for me today. If there's a question, by all means, come up, say something before I'm gone. Perfect, perfect. You're welcome, you're welcome. So, guys, peace out, no questions, and we'll speak tomorrow. I would like people to really be out here and asking questions, but I understand if there's no questions, can't force the questions. But there's always something. If you think of something, by all means, ask it in the group, and yeah, we'll touch base tomorrow. All right, peace out, man. Let's go.